When you look at someone like Walter Benjamin, who died on train tracks trying to escape Hitler's Germany, um, or Alfred Doblin, who perhaps gave up a few years too soon, or the many unknown people who resisted and lost their lives in the manner of Sophie Scholl and her brother. You see a not unsympathetic group of people who are caught, trapped, and who have no recourse, but who suffer the consequences of maintaining their humanity. Often quietly, reservedly, they come to be detected by the monstrosities of watchers who are always careful to monitor and probe to make sure that obedience doesn't hide reluctance. There's a film called The Advocate, which I think it's called The Advocate anyway. It's about a who plays fast and loose as a judge or a lawyer, which reveals the basic mentality and character of the foreign English attackers in their essence. People who you would never self defamatorily say you liked or cooperated with unless you yourself were sick in the head. Yet these are the very people into whom has fallen the powers of ultra high and teleportation. They just put a quarter in my change at the post office. I didn't know where it came from, so they could say that I used their money to complain about them. This is the cutthroat sadism of the mechanism that Slasher murdered Shannon Harps over a penny while gobbling our environment and closing our schools. It wears the smiling face of Peter Gabriel and Paul McCartney. We fooled ourselves. Of course, there are those who have ingested the idea that it's great to fool yourself, of course, and they remain his fans. But we fooled ourselves into believing the perverts like Ringo Starr and Frank Zappa, who were always insulting us, always heaping ridicule on us, could somehow secretly mean us well. They wanted us to rise up and scorn others too. Well, it's defamatory to say that you admire them. Surely you're better than that. So, sick in the head as it is, these poachers have got it made because not only did they release AIDS and COVID, but they're still running collection services, passing the hat to the victims, saying there's not enough. And now, what are you going to do? Save Africa? These were the very forces who put out flame over Africa when they held me hostage and gassed me in 1974. The very forces. Now, one of their deployments is also caught in Moxieland, and I pity her. I have sympathy for her, but she's never shown me the slightest courtesy. What we're dealing with is the criminally insane. We have to somehow get over the fact that we're dealing with the criminally insane and call them what they are. I realize that the tendency when dealing with abomination is to soothe, like children would soothe someone who wanted to kill them, try to befriend them. But of course, in this situation, it ends in the rocking chair of catsup. The creation of Frank Herbert that came to speak for the Leroy Jones Baraka crowd, a belligerante on the buses who spend fortunes staging absurdities so that they can illustrate what to them is the white others. Animosity. That's a peculiar way to call someone like Walter Benjamin's feelings towards Adolf Hitler. And in what way isn't it black Nazism to support genocide? In what way isn't it? Because you've done the calculus while working for an equal opportunity employer like Exxon. Because you've done the calculus while smashing Iraq. Because you've mended fences by supporting the Ukrainians. The criminally insane lives by the soothing purr of a broad. And one of the things about social equity is that it easily masquerades as a broad. Well, you've gotten away with it. I'm still that other. I'm still that white boy. But believe me, McCartney, I hate you. And to say anything else would be self defamation because you are a hateful, horrible English Nazi, raging with your powers of deceit. But you don't have that power over me, McCartney.